Being ambitious but unable to start is one of the frustrating forms of procrastination. You can see the life you want clearly, yet ambition without action keeps repeating the cycle. You freeze when the work begins. You delay the first step. You reach for your phone, promise yourself tomorrow will be different, and end the day feeling guilty again. This does not automatically mean you are lazy. The task may feel vague, overwhelming, exhausting, or emotionally risky. You may fear failure, judgment, or discovering that the goal does not truly belong to you. Sometimes the real problem is not a lack of ambition. It is the distance between a huge dream and an unclear first action. Subscribe to Thalvin Psychology for deeper insights into the hidden patterns shaping your behavior. One part of you wants success, growth, and a better future. Another part wants safety, comfort, and relief from effort, uncertainty, rejection, or failure. This conflict is shaped by present bias, the tendency to value immediate comfort more than distant rewards. Scrolling on your phone feels good now, while finishing a project may take weeks or months. Because the reward is immediate, your mind may choose the easier option even when you know it works against your long-term goals. This does not always mean your brain sees work as a threat. Sometimes the task simply feels boring, unclear, demanding, or difficult to control. When discomfort is immediate and progress feels far away, comfort often wins. The solution begins by making the first step smaller, clearer, and easier to start. That helps your long-term goal compete with the rewards available now. When a difficult task appears, discomfort often rises before work begins. You may open a video, check a message, play a game, organize your desk, or make a plan instead of starting. The moment you avoid the task, the tension drops. That temporary relief teaches your brain that avoidance works. Psychologists call this negative reinforcement because a behavior becomes stronger when it removes an unpleasant feeling. The cycle is not driven only by the pleasure of scrolling or a quick dopamine reward. Sometimes the strongest reward is the disappearance of anxiety. The task appears, discomfort grows, avoidance brings relief, guilt follows, and the task feels even more threatening the next time. Each repetition makes procrastination easier to choose and harder to interrupt. Breaking the loop begins by staying with discomfort long enough to complete one small action. That small action teaches your brain that beginning is uncomfortable but not dangerous. Motivation can feel powerful at night and disappear the moment work begins the next morning. It rises when you watch an inspiring video, then falls when the task becomes boring, uncertain, or demanding. That is why motivation alone cannot carry a long-term goal. A stronger approach is to rely on structure, schedules, and clear systems that reduce the need to negotiate with yourself. Instead of saying, "I will work tomorrow," create an implementation intention. Decide exactly what you will do, when you will begin, where you will work, and what the first small action will be. For example, after drinking coffee at 8, sit at your desk and work for 15 minutes. This removes ambiguity and turns a vague promise into a specific cue. Discipline is not only forcing yourself harder, it is designing the moment so that fewer decisions stand between you and beginning. Perfectionism often protects ambitious people from discovering what their abilities can actually produce. When success looks vivid in your imagination, every small beginning can feel disappointing by comparison. So you wait for the perfect plan, the right moment, more knowledge, greater confidence, or better conditions. That delay can become a form of self-handicapping. You create obstacles that prevent a full attempt, because failing after trying your hardest may feel like a threat to your identity. You start too late, keep preparing, change directions repeatedly, wait for better tools, or take another course before practicing. As long as the dream remains untested, it can stay flawless in your mind. You can still believe you would succeed if you truly committed, but action changes fantasy into evidence. It brings limits, feedback, mistakes, and reality. That can feel frightening, but it is also the only way to discover what you can improve, build, and eventually become over time. Failure is not the opposite of success, because failure still gives you feedback, experience, skills, and evidence that improvement is possible. Inaction gives you none of those things. The goal is not to feel completely ready before you begin. The goal is to make the first step small enough that your mind can tolerate the discomfort. Instead of writing a chapter, Open the document. Instead of exercising for an hour, put on your workout clothes. Instead of finishing the whole project, work for 5 focused minutes. Instead of creating something perfect, allow yourself to make an ugly first draft. This approach combines graded exposure with behavioral activation. Each small action helps your brain learn that discomfort can be faced without disaster. It also creates momentum, because action makes the next action easier. You do not need a perfect performance today. You need one imperfect step that proves you can begin. Your environment can make focused work easier or harder before willpower even enters the picture. A phone within reach, constant notifications, a cluttered desk, and too many open tabs invite your attention to leave the task. That is why distraction is not always a character problem. Often, it is a design problem. You can increase friction for unwanted behavior by putting your phone in another room, logging out of social media, turning off notifications, removing distracting apps, or blocking websites during work sessions. You can reduce friction for useful behavior by opening the document in advance, preparing your desk the night before, defining the first step, choosing a fixed start time, and keeping needed tools visible. A good system does not eliminate distraction completely. It makes returning to the task faster, simpler, and more automatic. Learning can feel productive while quietly becoming another form of procrastination. You may watch self-improvement videos, listen to motivational podcasts, read productivity books, research new methods, and keep rebuilding your plan. These activities can create the sensation of progress without producing visible results. This is sometimes called productive procrastination, or the knowledge-action gap. Learning is not the problem. The problem begins when information no longer leads to practice, experimentation, or execution. Use a simple rule. After learning something, apply one part of it before consuming more advice. Watch one video about writing, then write one paragraph. Read one strategy, then test it. Spend more time practicing than researching. End each learning session with something tangible you created, changed, or completed. Knowledge becomes valuable when it changes what you do next. Otherwise, preparation becomes avoidance again. When you begin changing a pattern, setbacks are inevitable. You may miss a day, lose focus, return to habits, or feel tempted to quit. The difference between progress and giving up is not perfection. It is how quickly you return. Guilt can help by telling you that one action did not match your values. Shame is more dangerous because it turns a mistake into an identity. Instead of thinking, "I failed today," you begin thinking, "I am a failure." That belief makes avoidance more likely. Treat one missed day as an event, not a verdict. Do not try to repair everything at once or punish yourself with an impossible schedule. Take one small action that reconnects you with the goal. Open the document, walk for 5 minutes, make the call. Self-compassion is not an excuse. It is what gives you the strength to begin again. You are not permanently lazy because laziness is not your identity. You may be repeating a pattern of avoidance that was learned through fear, discomfort, exhaustion, or self-protection. Patterns can change when ambition is matched with action and action is supported by self-compassion. However, difficulty starting is not always solved by discipline alone. Long-term exhaustion, poor sleep, anxiety, depression, ADHD, chronic stress, or goals that conflict with your values can also make action harder. If low motivation or difficulty functioning continues and seriously affects daily life, seeking professional support is not a sign of weakness. You do not need to transform your entire life in one day. You only need one small piece of evidence that today can be different from yesterday. Open the document, make the call, take the walk, or complete the smallest useful step. Then return tomorrow and do it again. Small actions prove your identity can change. Subscribe to Thalvin Psychology for deeper insights into the hidden patterns shaping everyday behavior. Thank you for watching and supporting Thalvin Psychology. Please subscribe, and let's keep exploring the psychology deep within us together.